Erica, this is where the question started. Erika Kirk, I want to say first and foremost, this isn't an attack. This is a conversation you've refused to have. So I guess I'm going to have it. Dare I say, let's rock. The Joe Rossano Show is next. Erica, in the days and weeks following Charlie's tragic assassination, something happened that immediately confused and disturbed a lot of people watching from the outside. Before there was a trial, before jury selection, before evidence was publicly tested in a courtroom, you went on stage and publicly forgave Tyler Robinson. Now, to many people watching that moment raised some serious questions. How do you forgive someone before the justice system has even had its say? Because whether intentional or not, forgiveness before the trial looks like an admission of guilt, or at the very least, an attempt to shape the narrative before facts are even established. And that moment was the first crack in what used to be a largely sympathetic public. You were Charlie Kirk's widow. They are supposed to love you. You're supposed to be America's sweetheart. You were supposed to be beloved, but instead of transparency, instead of clarity, what followed, Erica, was confusion, silence, and decisions that only fueled this speculation. And then, respectfully, you went on to ask for a speedy trial, cameras in the courtroom, and full transparency. I got to tell you, Erica, a lot of this stuff that's going on right now, you're bringing this on yourself. You're bringing it on yourself. Erica, this is where people really started to feel something was off, when people really started to feel some kind of way. People who followed TPUSA closely, especially during Charlie's leadership, noticed something almost immediately. The tone changed, a strategy changed, a decision making changed. And, the most common question became this: would Charlie have done this? Would Charlie have done this? Charlie was, from what I understand, and I'm sure you know, was cautious about money, about donors, about his optics. And of course, I can't say I blame him. Yet it seems under your leadership, funding sources and alliances, they appear to be very different. Now, before I continue, please click the subscribe button so I can keep bringing you all this great content. Click that really cool notification bell for all the latest episodes of the Joe Rossano Show. Erica, it's my understanding, and I believe you confirmed that Charlie wanted you to be a trad wife. And to you Gen Xers out there like me who are decade impaired, that's a traditional wife. And it's my understanding he wants you to stay home with the kids. And if that is the case, and that's your business, it seems like you are doing the exact opposite. And I just got to get back to this canopy. Either the canopy that Charlie was shot under or a replica. The silence and the optics, Erica, are a problem. Optics matter, especially someone in public life. And especially when you refuse to explain anything. People were taking pictures under either the canopy that Charlie was shot under, or it's a replica. Erica, can you imagine if I go to Dallas, Texas on the sixth floor of the book depository and had a rifle and was taking selfies? If I went to some museum and sat in John F. Kennedy's car that he got assassinated in and again was being photographed, I mean, what do you think people were going to say? Images taken under that canopy at the event, I mean, they rapidly spread, spawning speculation about symbolism, secrecy, and staging. Were the claims exaggerated? Or were they fueled again by lack of explanation? Absolutely. Instead of clearly saying what it was and why it mattered or didn't matter, critics say the response came off as dismissive and erasive. And here's the pattern people point to. Strange moments happens, internet speculate, you tell people to stop asking questions. That approach doesn't kill rumors, Erica, it feeds them. Now, let me take this a step further, Erica. They think you're a handler, okay? They think you're a handler. Either a U.S. government agent or a foreign government agent or government asset. That's what they think. They think they're using terms now like sheep dipping. And what sheep dipping is, folks, and this is speculation. It has not been proven in court, but basically that a secret agent, if you will, that's what Gen Xers like me say, a foreign, a government asset. They place that government asset at like a regular job, like, working for the phone company or, installing alarms or doing deck building while their subject is under surveillance. So they call that sheep dipping. Uh, Erica, who was your handler? I'm dying to hear this. Who's your publicist? Who's your PR person? Is it Andrew Colvin? Stacey Sheridan? I don't know, but that is what they say. Well, as Chris Kringle once said, movie Miracle on 34th Street, they should be horsewhipped. As David Spade said in the movie Tommy Boy, they should be hit in the head with a tack hammer. When I see someone handle a situation as poorly as it possibly can be handled, that's an Erika. Hashtag an Erika. Oh man, that's really an Erika. Instead of pouring water to put that fire out, you poured gasoline on it. That's an Erika. See where I'm coming from? Either you made some very questionable decisions or someone's doing a god awful job of advising you. The latest. Eric, I'm sure you heard this. The mysterious private tweets. Now, this part makes people kind of uncomfortable. But I got to tell you, Erica, ignoring this doesn't make it go away. Now, before meeting Charlie, there are archived tweets of screenshots allegedly showing interactions between you and a 15-year-old girl online. Important clarification, and I want to make this clear. No crime has been proven, no charges have been filed, no court has ruled on these interactions. But the existence of the interactions and the refusal to clearly address them continues to circulate, Erica. And I got to tell you, it is never, Erica. It is never what it is. It is what it looks like. Add to that the confusion around your background, real estate licensing efforts in New York, interviewing with TPUSA during the same time period, sudden career pivots that don't appear logically connected. Now, again, none of this has been proven in court, but it suggests this looks less like coincidence and more like orchestration. We get back to that sheep dipping. It's been reported, and people are almost convinced that you were guided, placed, or handled. Those claims have not been verified as evidence, but once again, silence has allowed them to grow. Erica? One of my concerns is it's human nature to want to be exonerated. If there is no there, or as Candace Owens says, we don't know, no, but we know, then let's see the private tweets. Nothing to hide and nothing to see here isn't going to fly. A lesson I assume you learned at this point. Now, allegedly, according to reports, they are alleging you were conditioning this young lady for some nefarious, inappropriate relationship. Now, allegedly, there is a meme that was shared during that exchange that reads, I want to be inside your lady garden. You know what I'm saying? Why let others control your story? Once again, Erica, I'm not sure if that is a fact or if that's propaganda, but it's what it looks like, Erica. It's what it looks like. Now, I'm not an expert of knowing what a lady garden is. I mean, I think I do. I'm pretty sure I do. But, you know, I got to tell you, you made a joke about, I don't know, on Valentine's Day, you want to touch her butt. And then either she or you sent this. It was sent sometime during that exchange by one of you. I want to be inside your lady garden. Know what I'm saying? Erica, the only thing I'm saying is I'm not using the term butt, meaning buttocks, or any kind of man garden to a 15-year-old when I was 25. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that there was anything nefarious or you were trying to condition anyone. I mean, make that very clear. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just getting back to it's not what it is, Erica. It's what it looks like. And I gotta ask you, Erica. I've been dying to ask you. If you come on here, I'm really asking you this. You let others control your story. This might be the most important question of all. Instead of addressing these issues directly, you've allowed Candace Owens, among others, to dominate this narrative. She has allegedly all but ruined your reputation, Erica. Every single day on Candace Owens, if she's not discussing whose wife has a penis, it's Erica, Erica, Erica. It should be a drinking game. Every time Candace Owens says, Erica, you got a drink. My goodness, folks, people would be puking in the first 2 minutes. People don't have contempt for you because of strong rumors. They're frustrated because you won't talk. Transparency could possibly shut this down overnight. A real sit down conversation would change everything. And again, as the Ghostbusters once said, we're willing to believe you. Erica, come on my show, since this was my idea. Until then, speculation fills the vacuum, not because people, again, want to hold you in contempt, but because you've given them nothing else. Erica, if any of this is wrong, correct it. If it's misleading, then explain it. But telling people to stop asking questions, Erica, that never works. Now, before I continue, please click the subscribe button so I can keep bringing you all this great content. Click that really cool notification bell for all the latest episodes of the Joe Rossano Show. My dearest friends and fellow Americans, too, I would have to say, probably my favorite segment, your questions and comments. Now, I'm going to do two comments here, and usually I will grab the jar and say them at random, but in this case, I got a couple of good ones, and I wanted to read them and reply to them. This from at SJCJW. But the Playboy Mansion and Hefner was okay. Same thing happened there, and everybody supported it. Bravo. I've been saying that for years. Seriously. I don't want to trample on a man's grave. I mean, the late Hugh Hefner, rest in peace. Playmates will tell you what the bunnies will tell you. I'm going to give you an example of something. Is if he had a business meeting and he wanted a contract signed, he had 7 playmates come over. Do you think I'm just making a statement? The world is a better place without Jeffrey Epstein. However, he didn't write the book on that. Okay. I mean, yeah, Hugh Hefner. I mean, this is documented now. I mean, he videotaped these women. He had them followed by private investigators. And yeah, I mean, if he wanted to impress the guys or you know, get a business deal done, he had Miss June, Miss January, and Miss October come on over. Boom. So yeah. Well, was it okay? Okay, here's the difference. The playmates. Okay, and that's from what I understand now. That's I'm an honest guy. I got to be honest here. You got to be 18 to be in Playboy. All right. That I don't think there was 14-year-olds from what I understand. And if there is, put in the comments, but it's got to be a fact. Okay. I don't think there were 13, 14-year-old girls at the Playboy Mansion. Okay. People at the Playboy Mansion, Pamela Anderson, et cetera, were, well over 21. At least I think so. Okay. Shannon Tweeds, et cetera. Because you had everybody at the Playboy Mansion. Yeah. Jim Carrey. Okay. I mean, everybody was there at the Playboy Mansion. And it was during a time where, yeah, uh, you know, objectifying women, if you will, just wasn't a big deal then. It just wasn't. If Hugh Hefner were here, I think he would say that he wanted to show everyone that women enjoyed things just as much as men, and he wanted to empower women in his magazine. Now, if you ask me, I just think he wanted to put some naked women in his magazine to sell magazines. But you are absolutely right. Now, difference between him and Hefner, okay? Between Epstein and Hefner, I've got to clarify this. There is no evidence to support that Mr. Hefner or any members of the Playboy organization had any young 14, 15-year-old minors being abused during Mr. Hefner's tenure as the chief executive of Playboy. Epstein had 13, 14-year-old girls. Okay. That's different. All right. Yeah. What a grown woman does. Okay. I live with two of them. That's their business. Now, what a 13, 14-year-old girl does, that's something else. But I really did like that one. Next is from Joelle. I can't stand seeing Erika. She is so fake. Involved grifter. People need to open their eyes. Grifter, I've heard that one before. As Tom Cruise once said in A Few Good Men. I don't know what any of that means, but it sounds pretty bad. Um, yeah, and Erica, if you're watching, let me get back to you here. You see what they're saying? Calling you a grifter, a handler, fake. You really need to address this stuff, Erica. You really do. And again, I'll welcome you on. I'll give you 2 hours if you'd like. I'll come to you. And let's see if you can clarify any of this stuff. Okay. Or if you need an advisor, let me know because I certainly can't do any worse than what you had so far. And that's unfortunate. As always, my dearest friends and fellow Americans, I just graciously appreciate you taking some time to hang out with your pal Joe Rossano here on the Joe Rossano Show, where we are unfiltered, unbiased, uncensored. Would I ask folks again, if you could be so kind, please subscribe. Click the notification bell, gives you all the latest episodes, the really cool ones of the Joe Rossano Show. And as always, my dearest friends and fellow Americans, God bless you. Please don't forget to adopt a pet. And we'll see you next time.